collections. So let me go to, I hope I have a proper documentation here. It looks like I missed it. The documentation I'll update, don't worry. So basically what is HashMap? So let's start doing a program rather than basically HashMap. As of now, just all the collections worked on based on color, objects, right? You just keep all the elements in a bucket. But in HashMap scenario, there is a little more advantage for you to store elements, like key value based. In HashMap you can store elements in terms of key and value. Okay, so basically if you ask by requesting key, you can request entire object that has been stored as a value. Okay, so let me show it to you. So as of now, whatever we do in the collections, array, list, set, or whatever you do, we just used to store those objects inside our list, right? We just used to 1, 2, 3 object, 4th object. We used to store like this, right? Nth object. So, but in terms of map, what will happen is, this is map kind of thing. Key 1, value 1, key 2, value 2, key 3, value 3, key n, value n. So basically, if this can be an object, this can be a wrapper class, anything, but basically if it can be your own built-in object, or your own object, or string object, or your own like movie, or flight, or student, whatever the object it can be, and it is the value key that you want to use to retrieve the data. Okay, let me show it to you now. Let's write a program quickly. Basically, I haven't mentioned this part, right? Like, in the section. See, we discussed about these collections and list, set, all these things. This is collection family. Collection framework is including map. So map is another interface which have different implementations. HashMap implementation, has table implementation, linked HashMap implementation, and then tree map implementation. There are 4 different implementations has been there for the map interface. Okay, so there may be differences, just like we saw, right? Array list and vector differences, just like same thing here also. HashMap and hash table differences also will be there. Okay, so I'm going to HashMap hm equal to new hash. So this is the typical way of declaring, but as we got generics as well, while declaring itself you need to let what type of key you are going to have, what type of key you're going to have, what type of value you're going to have. Okay, so key is going to be like, let's say, let's store as a key as an integer. Okay, integer. And what is the value is going to be, let's store as a strings for now. Okay, so so in order to keep elements, hm dot, there are like how do you add an elements in array list? Hm dot, I mean array list dot add, right? Here there is a method called put. Okay, so let's say I'll say 1 and I'll store it as orange. Okay, so we stored different elements at different key values. We provided, like, this. What does it mean? We have another map. The way we stored is 1 2 3 4 5. We give in the key values. These are the key, this is the value. Orange, apple, banana, watermelon, pears, something like that. We store like this the elements. We are storing this way. Okay, so yeah, now we know how to store the elements in HashMap. So how do we retry, right? How do we retry? So basically it's nothing but this is one set and this is another set. Don't get confused. Set is something, if you remember, which doesn't allow duplicates, which doesn't, set is something, a collection which doesn't allow duplicates. So if you divide into two parts, right, key as separate set and value as separate set, right? So that's the reason if you want to extract elements, you can say set of integer set equal to HashMap dot, HashMap has another option called key set. So what it returning, this key set is returning what? HashMap set of integers. Okay, that's the reason I'm accepting set of integers. Okay, so now you got a set. Now you know how to iterate from the set, right? So now you got a set of, what is this set is containing, what is this set containing? Now what is this set object containing? It contains all your keys 1 2 3 4 5. You got this upper part, all the keys you got now in your set. So now you can retry, right? For each integer in set, right? SYSOUT for each integer set. So you can retrieve keys I. So you got I as a key, and then what is the value inside? Value is hash, what do you call that? HashMap dot. You got the key, right? So you can ask directly HashMap now, what is the value? HashMap dot get of key, I is the key for us. Got my point? So this is how we need to retrieve both elements. So let me show you running this program. So key is 1, value is orange. Key is 2, value is apple. So for basically this line, what it does, it gets all the just values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a set. Then I am taking one element from the set. I'm taking one element from the set. So first time I got 1. So that is the key. And value is, I'm going to ask HashMap, give me the value that has been there with the key 1. You getting my point? So this is how you need to retrieve. So does set allows duplicates? No. So let's try. Let's try to add same key different apple. So I'm adding different value for the same key 2. Okay, let's see what value displays. So whether it displays both, whether it displays different apple, or whether it displays apple. What it got? It got different apple. It removed this one. This apple has got removed. So what does it mean? Set HashMap doesn't allow duplicate keys. HashMap doesn't allow duplicate key. As we know, because key is another set. All the keys are a collection of set. So set is all the keys are a collection of selection of set, right? So and set doesn't allow duplicates. Okay, so again I'll repeat. HashMap, when it defined, right, this is key, this is value. All the key, the way it stores these values is like a set implementation. The way it stores these value is like a list implementation, array list. This is hash set. So let's try to add different key but same value. Okay, let's try to add different key, same value. See, same values has been displayed. So what does it mean? HashMap allows duplicate values. Let's try to keep HashMap.put of null and see what will happen. Does it allows null or not? HashMap. So are you seeing any value in below with null? No, right? So HashMap doesn't allow duplicate keys. hm dot But let me try to add duplicate, null value rather than null key. I'm adding null value here. Let's see whether displays or not. So it is displayed, right? So what does it mean? And allows null value. Duplicate doesn't allow null keys but allows null values. If I try to add more than one null, let's see. As per array, as values has been going through array list implementation, can they take it another null? Yep, why not? Right? There is no limitation. You can insert values. It allows duplicate values but doesn't allow duplicate keys. Doesn't allow null keys but allows null value. What else is there? Yeah, by default HashMap is not synchronized. I'll explain synchronized, don't worry. But remember, HashMap is not synchronized. But if you want to make a synchronized, if you want to make HashMap synchronized, then you need to use, I'll show you below. You need to use collection dot synchronized map and pass the HashMap Did you got this point? Collections dot synchronized map, pass the value. That is how you need to enter. If you want to make a particular hash map, a synchronized map, now if whatever this map you got synchronized. Okay, so in interview a lot of questions there, how do you make does the hash map is synchronized? Nope. How do you make a map synchronized? I use collections dot synchronized map. That is one way. The another way is, instead of hash map, just writing it so that you can track it out. Instead of hash map, use concurrent hash map. Instead of hash map, use concurrent hash maps to for synchronization scenario, like concurrent hash map. Key is integer, value is string. Concurrent hash map equal to new concurrent hash map. Okay, so this is how you need to, either you can use concurrent hash map instead of hash map in synchronized scenarios in order to make a hash map synchronized, or else you can use collections dot synchronized map and pass that map, it will become synchronized. Okay, these are the different ways. So like I showed you, I am talking about only hash map implementation. There is a hash table also. What main interview question is like, what is the difference between hash table and hash map? Hash table is by default synchronized. Hash table is by default synchronized. Here vector also in the list family, vector also by default synchronized. But hash map is not synchronized. So in order to make hash map synchronized, you need to go collections dot synchronized map and pass the hash map, or else use the concurrent hash map and start adding the values. Whatever the values that you add in CHM object, that will be secured, thread safe kind of thing. So this is how you need to do with with HashMap. I'll show you. Can you guys take an assignment? Like what I would like to give an assignment is let me look at yeah, HashMap as a, like yesterday we did a website website program, right? So try to keep your website um, class website, try to keep website objects inside HashMap as value and key as website name. Let's say like this way, you need to define HashMap website name is what type of string, and value I said is website. Yesterday or day before we trying, right? Website something. Yeah, we didn't make public, so it doesn't allow us. Like paste it. Somewhere we wrote that website program, right? So all you need to do is take that website object here and define that HashMap. You don't need to this right side. All I need to do is define in this fashion and create as many website objects as you want and store this name as a key and all the details of the website, like name of the website, value of the website, purpose of the website, and number of hits per day per website, and what is the market capitalization of the website. All the details you can define your website property. So and then store them, and if somebody user enters like a Facebook as a key, you need to go and look into your HashMap and extract all the details of the website and display it. Okay, see, basically what I'm trying to say you guys is see, now what I will do when I say Facebook, right? So it all I entered is key as Facebook. What it does, it went back and pulled the cost of the share cost of the website. It pulled what is the increment of today. So what is the percentile, and what is the price per earnings ratio, what is the market capitalization that Facebook is having. All these are properties of Facebook, right? All these are properties of Facebook, and when I entered the key as Facebook, it extracted all these values. Try something like this, like define, like take this one as an example, right? So define your object, website object, as something like this, or else like for the better understanding, let's take a stock as a stock class and define all these properties: stock name, stock what you called quote. How do you enter, like Facebook is like FB. If you enter FB, NASDAQ understands that is the Facebook. So shortcut name of the Facebook in NASDAQ, and what is the value, and what is the max range in the last 52 weeks, and what is the market capitalization, number of shares that has been there, and P/E, price per earning ratio. So take all these properties as an input for the test stock, and then store them in your hash map such a way key as stock name and value as stock object. So define at least 10 to 15 stocks and write a program by defining 10 to 15 stocks and keep them in HashMap and ask user which stock information do you want to know, and these are the display, these are the names of the stocks values that I have, that I am holding. Display that in your console. Then when user enters like Facebook or Google, then you need to go back and search for that stock, and if it is there, and display all the properties of that stock. If it is not there, convey that we are in the process of upgrading our stock system. We will update and we'll let you know soon, kind of thing. Some generic message, like so those kind of like. And then what you can do, we learn exceptions, right? So what you can do, implement the exceptions along with this. So if somebody, instead of entering Facebook, if somebody enters junk characters, okay, let's say you supposed for in Nasdaq, maximum quote value allowed is 3, like all the stock names should be maximum 3, let's assume that. Okay, if somebody enters 4, you need to give an input response back, the key should be 3. We cannot proceed, you need to enter only 3 character word in order to extract the stock details, kind of message. Okay, if something goes wrong, or else just display some message like oops, we are in the process of addressing some issues. So those kind of error scenarios, exceptions, and hash map, and try to play, see to what extent you can achieve. This is very nice example, and you can enhance as much as you want by using the existing scenarios. Okay, cool. Yeah. One thing pending from my end is I will update here hash map, hash table, linked hash map differences, and which is better, which one to use when, how to use, and those kind of, and different implementation, and I will update the table here. And one more important point is, go back and look hash map implementation. Go back and look hash map implementation. Even if you Google, you'll get bunch of explanations. I'm skipping that part, this topic, because of the time constraints. But if you guys doesn't understand by going through, email me or next class message me in the chat. I'll pick that topic and I'll explain you how HashMap works, because that is another important question that in interviews they will ask in the second level. First round they won't ask. In the second round they will always ask what is the implementation of HashMap. Can you explain the implementation of HashMap? What are the methods that you must override in order to implement your own hash map? Can you write your own hash map implementation rather than using existing hash map implementation? So these are the 4 to 5 questions they will ask if you go to face to face. Okay, that's it guys for collections part. So let's pick another topic quickly. That is something, and keep in mind, which one will go? Can we try serialization? For serialization, you need to have a little bit knowledge on files. Can we start? Yeah, I'll quickly explain the file concept. Files, I have an input type, I input and output, and then I'll jump to synchronization. I don't spend much time in the files because that is like a very rare topic that you come across, but it's good to know. It's IO, network calls, like, basically how do you communicate your Java program with the text files, Excel file, or doc file kind of thing. How do you read them? Okay, so I'll do is like, let's write some program. File creation. Okay, so there are different ways you can create a file. Okay, I'll explain. There are different ways you can create a file. So one is file. There is a class, built-in class called file. Okay, import java.io package. Okay, file is simple file. Okay, simple file equal to new file. It takes an input. Where is your file? You need to give, right? You are talking about file. It's a some text file or something like that. So I'll create some file somewhere in location. Where are we doing is I'll take I'll take users. We'll go to the same Kaizen, workspace. Before, right? Yeah, before. Try to here. So I copied that location. So basically slash is not allowed, escape characters these are. So in order to handle escape characters, you need to give one more slash each place. Okay, basically. So I came to bell info text, bell info before. Here I'm going to create some text file like bell info before dot txt. Okay, so I'm creating a file, txt file. With this line, when I run this program, txt file will be created. Then, I mean, not with this line, but it is the initialization of the file. So now I'm going to write what? See, let me write. I can understand another way. So simple file dot. There are different ways to create new file. When you say this, you got an error because there is a chance of getting an exception. So what it says, these are all called compile time exceptions. Add, throws, and throws or try and catch. Okay, so IO exception is what? Compile time exception. In interview they will ask what are the, can you name few compile time exceptions. You can say IO exception is one type of compile time exception. So it will identify before saving the file. It will understand there is a chance certain exceptions will occur, so it will give a heads up saying whether you can try and catch or you can throw it, so that that exception can be handled. Okay, that compile time exception can be handled. Okay, so let me run this program and see whether now here in this location you don't see any text file creation, right? Let me run this program. and go back here. See, there is a belinfo.b4.txt file has been created, right? So let me delete it and run again. It will create again. So for the sake of watching, I'm running like this. See, belinfo b4 has been created. Okay, so this is the network IO exception. This is the network because you are coming out of JVM and doing something. Okay. Next question is, how do I write using Java? How do I write data into it? And how do I extract data from it? How do I write a data into the file? And how do I read the data that has been there inside the file? Okay, so for that, there are some functionalities. Can I go directly in this file input stream? So let's try. File input stream fs. I didn't explain this page. So there is a file input stream class fis equal to new file input stream. This is how you need to create initially in order to read and file input stream. So what is the file input stream? Simple file is the file input that you need to pass to file input stream. Once you get the file input stream, then you need to take the this is something reading through input stream. There are two ways you can read, like one is through input stream, another one is through a reader, buffer reader or file reader kind of thing. So let's do it first from through file input stream, and then we'll see file reader as well. There are two ways, like two ways of creation, two ways of reading the files and writing the files as well. So buffered input stream is equal to new buffered input stream, and then pass this file input stream as an input. These are the typical lines you need to go through. Okay, buffered input stream. First you need to create file input stream from the file, and then from the you need to pass this file input stream to buffered input stream class. So once you pass buffered input stream, then you can take it as data input stream. Data input stream dis equal to new data input stream. You pass it as buffered input stream. If you closely understand, right, what is this buffer? Basically, file is the one that you're going to read, and then you convert when you're reading, right, like from Java file to text file to Java file. The data has to be travel, right? Data has to be travel. How does the data will be traveled? How does the data travel? First, the file. First, you need to completely read, get the connection of the file. Then read data as a buffer, like while reading as a data, like rather than reading one byte at a time, read using the buffered input stream. So it will buffered, like it can read one line at a time kind of thing. then you need to convert that into a data, like each word at a time kind of thing. So you are trying to create in such a way these input streams so that you can read data in data fashion rather than bytes fashion. That's all I can say. So now uh, now when I say while, let's say dis data input stream dot, if data input stream is available, if there is something available, which means this is how you need to check, like data available is returns if there is data it will returns more greater than 1. If it is no data it will return 0. So if it is not 0, display it in our console. Okay, dis this data input stream dot read line, data input stream dot read line. So it is crying because let me it will automatically import it. So saying try catch, I'll say. So now I'll take out this block and I'll keep it here so that it will be covered. So this one is saying again I'm giving some error, so try catch. Yeah, good. So let me format this class. So all we did is like file input stream, new file input stream, simple file input stream, then this file input stream we are passing it to the buffered input stream, then this buffered input stream we are passing it to data input stream. So this is the typical steps that you need to write in order to make a connection between your file and Java file. And then in your data input stream, check whether the data is available or not. As long as data is available, just read the data and display it. Read the data and display in the console from the text. Okay. So let's see whether it works or not. We haven't displayed anything, right? So I'll say here standard. We just empty file we created, right? So next one. Yeah, so it's the program is getting executed, but the file doesn't have, the data input stream doesn't have what you call data inside, right? So what we can do, let me go back here and try to write some data here. This is bell info class. If it is there, I think it doesn't create, delete actually, and bell info class with 20 students learning Java. Okay, so let me close this. Let me go back and read. See, this is Bell Info class with 20 students learning Java. So if I go back again and modify this guy into multiple lines, I'm just keeping a bunch of lines, okay, and going back and running this program. See, what does you understand? Now you are reading data from text file to your Java and displaying in the console. You getting my point? This is one way of reading and one way of creating. So another way of doing it is Another way of doing is like, string file name equal to Wells Fargo.txt. I just named the file. Okay, name of the file it is, and then I'll take path. What is the path? Is where the data is there. If I use system dot get property of user dot dir, this will give me, well displayed, this will give me the relative what do you call the path where my program is executing. So if I display this path, right, you can understand. So this is the line that is executed. So user.dir, when I ask for user.dir, it says c/user/kson/workspace.belinfo before. This is the location. This is the location where this file is, where this file has been there. By writing this line, you can get the path. Okay, fully qualified path you can get. Okay, this is called absolute path. This is called absolute path. So once you get the path, you can append it like, string absolute path equal to path plus file dot separator. File dot separator is slash actually. If you go back and look what is file dot separator, special character. What is that? Get separator. Get separator is nothing but it will give you slash. So plus file name. This is the file name, Wells Fargo text. Okay, so next thing is, now you can create file Wells file, some file. Okay, anything you can use it, right? New file name, new file of absolute path. That is gives you fully qualified, like, if you see SYSOUT again here, absolute path I am printing. See what we'll get. So this is the absolute path along with the file name. This is just a path. The highlighted one is just path, and the next highlighted one is absolute path. Okay, so including the file name. Then what you need to do? Does it create? No. Now you need to do else file dot create new file. This line will create a new file, and then you can read same way. This is the one way of reading it. I mean, using what you called in order to read the data, what we need to do, first you need to create a file input stream, then you need to create a buffer input stream, another one is data input stream. This is one way of doing it. We learned just now two ways of creation, like, creating the file. This is one way of creating a file. So this part, one way of creating a file. Another way of creating file is second way of creating a file. This part. Okay, don't get confused. So I'll move this logic below then, rather than confusing you. I will move this. This is one way of reading a file. One way of reading a file and displaying it. So another way of reading a file is second way. Reading a file is using a first way of reading file is using input stream. Using input stream. Go back and look at these concepts, whatever I'm explaining, you can easily understand. Maybe I'm a little faster, but it's not complicated. That's all I can say. Okay. If it by any chance restarts, we'll continue tomorrow, but mostly it doesn't. So second way of restarting the file. Second way of restarting the file is using BufferedReader. BufferedReader. This is input stream. This is BufferedReader. So what is the, how do you read it? Let me show you. File reader. These lines doesn't change whichever the program you wrote. Fixed lines. Only thing is which file you are reading, what data you are reading, that changes. File reader. Pass the file name. Let's take another file that we created just now, Wells file. So once you read the file, then you need to create buffered reader. BR equal to new buffered reader. Pass the file reader object. And this is okay. Now what you can do is let's take a string line, some string, and then write while. This is the another way of reading. Okay. Line initially null, right? Br dot buffer reader dot read line. This is what you call it. If whatever it returns, right, line value, whatever it first, it what does it do? It is taking br dot read line into line. So if that is not, what I'm trying to say is, try to understand, this is not a complex line, but a simple two statements in a single line. That's all I'm trying to do. Not equal to null. What I'm doing here, from buffer reader, I'm reading a line, a br dot read line. What it returns? Br dot read line. If you look at it, it returns string. It returns string. So I'm taking into the string in the while loop itself. I'm taking that value into line, and then I'm comparing this line with whether it is null or not. If it is null, it's the end of the file kind of thing. There is no data. If there is no data, or end of the file. If it is not null, I can simply display it, that string. Okay. So let me run the program. You may get so if you go here, you may see Wells Fargo text, but nothing has been there, so nothing has been displayed. So let me try to add. This is Wells confidential data, blah blah blah. Now I'll go here and run the program again. See? So what we did here, we learned two ways of creating a file. We learned two ways of reading the data from the file. Okay. One way of creating the file is create a new file and pass the fully path. If you want to pass like somewhere if you know the exact path of the file, then give that path of the file. That is one way of creating. If you don't know the exact path, you can use the existing path, like wherever your programs are running. So by using system.get property user.dir, this will give you the absolute path, and then append your file name. This will give you absolute path, and then you append the file name and then pass that file name to creating the file. This is another way if you don't know the fully qualified path. Okay, this is one way. This when you say user.dir, it will works in Windows. For Mac, there will be different thing. Just check it out. Okay. So then another two ways of reading. One way of reading a file is using input stream. Like first you need to create a file input stream, then take that object and keep it by taking a file name, then take that file input stream, keep it into buffered input stream, then from buffered input stream keep it into data input stream, then data input stream start reading. If the data is available, read the line. If data is not available, while loop will come out. So another way of reading is file readers. First create the file reader by passing the file name, then pass this file reader to BufferedReader, then BufferedReader verify each line is null, the data is null or not. If it is not null, display the data in the console, otherwise come out from the while loop. Okay, this is file creation example. So there is another example, file data writing into the file. As of now, we read the data from the file, right? There is another way we need to write into the file. That is something we can give it a try tomorrow as part of an assignment. This is also. If you guys feel like yes, it's good to go through that in the class, then I will do it another example of writing into the file using Java. Okay, I will do it. If you want it tomorrow, I'll ask, and if most people want it in the chat, and then I will do it. Otherwise, I'll jump onto serialization. And once we're done with serialization, I'll talk about the generics tomorrow a little more, and then what do you call it? Yeah, we'll go to the threads. If we can finish threads, we are almost good. We'll talk about new topics like streams and Lambda. That's it. Like, so we are on track. By end of this weekend, we'll try to wrap it up by Friday or Saturday, and we'll take 2 days break. And by that break, what I will do, I'm giving break to you, not for me. Like, what I'm going to do is I'll prepare interview questions and I'll share it to you, all the interview questions mostly, and we'll recap one day, and the next day we'll jump onto the advanced Java. Okay, thanks guys. Are you saying assignments?
Not the program that we practiced yesterday.
You want me to upload?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Comparator, comparable.
Oh, okay. I'll do it today. I will upload it and share it. Okay. Yep. Thanks.
Thank you.